December of 1978, Pamela Harvey Rousseau was last seen at her apartment complex on Lloyd Street in the city of Greater Sudbury. She had left her son with her neighbor and never returned. Family had been expecting her for Christmas holidays and she did not attend. When they began inquiring about her whereabouts, they discovered that she had been missing for some time. Pamela Harvey left her cigarettes, purse, and all of her identification and personal belongings behind. Her family remembers her as a gentle dreamer who would never have left her son. Many years since her disappearance, Pamela's bank activity has been nil, and there have been no answers to the questions that remain for those who love her. Pamela Harvey was born and raised in McKellar, Ontario, which is a small town, approximately 400 people just outside of Parry Sound. Pam was the eldest of four siblings. Her father, Gerald, ran a successful construction company, and her mother, Yvonne, worked in a seniors' home. In Pamela's late teens, she moved to Chilliwack, British Columbia, in search of a freer lifestyle. She soon became pregnant and married, but the relationship didn't last long. Within a year, she legally separated from her husband, with whom she had cut all ties, and she moved back to Ontario with her son Ricky in 1977. Nobody knows why she chose to move to Sudbury. It's possible she met someone while working as a waitress or through someone in her social circle. Maybe she wanted a fresh start. Pamela and Ricky moved into a one-bedroom apartment on Lloyd Street, and she found work as a part-time waitress at the Kingsway Hotel, which was a bar, a restaurant, and a popular hangout for the Coffin Wheelers motorcycle gang. She soon began a relationship with one of its members, Leonard Doust. On November the 12th, 1978, a man named James Dacey was shot and killed on a hill directly across the street from the Kingsway Hotel. A witness who lived in the apartment beside the scene said they saw a getaway vehicle next to the building, parked in what's now called the Columbus Tot Lot. Dacey's body was discovered by one of his friends that night, who then called an ambulance from the Kingsway Hotel soon after. Leonard Doust and a man named Rene Ranger were arrested for the murder of James Dacey. 4 days after the murder, Pamela left 4-year-old Ricky at a neighbor's house and disappeared. Police refused to take the report of Pamela's disappearance seriously. They assumed she had taken off to avoid Leonard's trial and would show up when it was over. Suspected to have witnessed or have knowledge of a murder committed just days prior to her disappearance, family held on to some hope that she would come home once it was safe to do so. Police cautioned them not to get involved because the case had alleged ties to a notorious biker gang. Regardless of what she might have known, her family does not believe she would have abandoned Ricky. At Leonard Doust's trial in 1979, a woman named Wendy said she was drinking with Pamela and Leonard and another friend on the night of the murder. She said she left and returned with a friend, but Pamela appeared nervous and wouldn't let them inside. Wendy told the Harvey family that Pamela left Ricky in her care overnight, and when she didn't return the next day, she gave Ricky to a neighbor, a man named Mal or Milford. However, Milford told the family that it was Pamela who had arranged for Ricky to stay with him for 2 weeks. Then Milford changed his story and said Pam had only left a note asking him to watch Ricky for 2 weeks. The family never saw a note. It's at the hotel where she most likely met the motorcycle gang, the Coffin Wheelers, explained Sarah May, a book writer. The gang disbanded in 1985 and were absorbed by Satan's Choice, and then the Satan's Choice gang was absorbed by the Hells Angels. May has spent the last few months trying to connect with former gang members or anyone who knew Pamela at the time. Some people have implied that they know what happened but refuse to speak out of fear, she said, while others refuse to admit anything because they are protected by the Brotherhood. The weapon was never recovered for the murder, and Doust never admitted to the crime, yet he spent 27 years in jail for the crime. Pamela's son Ricky, now a father himself, would like to know what happened to his mother. It's never too late to uncover the truth, said May. She was a loving mother and very responsible. I believe the police have failed the Harvey family, failed Pamela as well. Nothing was ever written in the paper about her disappearance, and there was no missing persons poster. There was nothing. She was a single mother from an average middle-class family. The case wasn't given the attention it deserves, and May continues to say this. For decades now, the family of Pamela Harvey has lived without knowing what happened to their daughter, sister, and mother. There has been very little coverage on Pamela's case. It's just too painful. We can't even talk about it too much, her sister Kate says over the phone. We were powerless and helpless to do anything, Kate remembers. When her sister disappeared in late 1978, there was not much we could do. When Pamela didn't come home, her parents Yvonne and Gerald took in her son and became parents all over again. Moving forward, they thought of Pamela every day, but they spoke of her very little. It was just too painful to bring up her name. In 2015, Gerald passed away, not knowing what became of his daughter. He took the pain to his grave, said Kate. Her mother had Pamela's name, birth date, and the words, always loved and never forgotten, inscribed on the tombstone. I've carried guilt all these years, said Kate. People ask me what I have to be guilty about. She says, somehow I didn't sense something was wrong. I loved someone so much and I couldn't sense something was wrong. I just couldn't save her. I'll carry her for the rest of my life. I just have to accept it. Kate said that something always seems to happen around Pamela's birthday, and this past spring she found an old keychain her sister had given her. It read, "Love is remembering all the happy times." Pamela was an artist from a very young age, and her sister said she even attempted to write a book at 12 years old. I always thought of her as an old soul, said Kate. She had wisdom and an understanding of life that was beyond her years. Growing up in a small northern town, where would you pursue an artistic talent like that? It seemed like she was born in the wrong place, she continues. Pamela was born on March the 7th, 1955, and is described as 5 feet 6 inches tall, approximately 125 pounds. She has reddish blonde hair and brown eyes, and she was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. It's unknown what she was wearing. If you have any information about Pamela Harvey Rousseau and wish to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 705-222-TIPS. That's 705-222-8477. Or you can go online to www.sudburycrimestoppers.com and you will remain anonymous and will not have to testify in court. That is our promise to you, the tipster. So if you see something, hear something, do something, call Crime Stoppers.